understand why they say that relationships, or like why some people in the industry will say like, oh, I don't want to date someone that's in the industry, I don't want to date someone that's in the same profession as me, or you know, whatever, what have you, because if that's how you communicate, if that's how you express yourself, and if there ever becomes like a disconnect and you might need like a new energy, right, a new way of communicating, a new way of, you know, moving past an issue, that maybe you like aren't equipped, you know, to do so. I don't know really where I'm going with this.
I get you.
You know,
I know what you mean.
it's there's this concept of like being equally yoked, right? And what that looks like for different people, you know, makes for what the relationship, you know, blossoms to be, you know, and how those individuals communicate is a reflection of the energy that's fostered from the union of those two people.
Communication is key in like all relationships, whether whatever's involved, like work relationships, anything. Like it's just important to know what people are thinking, and it's important to say what you're thinking. Yeah, and that don't always got to be met with aggression. Yeah, people be thinking just because you give an opinion that like you and especially being black. Yeah, I could imagine like and then like because there's already like a slight complexity like as a black man, but then like add the fact of being a woman on that, and it's like, all right, well, am I even allowed to get mad? Like, cause then you instantly jump to like, oh, of course you're gonna get mad. You the black person here, like y'all get mad, right? Y'all get animated. You gonna people be deciding to use slang and shit around you and stuff like that. I had to quit a job because of that. It's like, bro, like you asking me about rap, you don't listen to rap. Yo, I didn't seen your ass like not listening to rap, and then you go, like somebody tried to like come up to me and tell me that they was like related to like somebody I didn't fucking know in rap, like somebody that they thought that I would know
Who they are,
and like nigga, I don't care.
The worst for me is the forced ebonics.
I was just about to say that, like, you know when somebody.
Wait a minute.
You know damn well you don't talk like this.
I don't take no stuff. Wait a minute.
Excuse me. And it's so crazy when you notice that someone's obviously talking to you way different than how, like, especially when you're at work, when somebody's talking to you as a black person differently than they talk to the
seeing them switch is weird.
Oh my gosh!
Like I know damn well you didn't just come over here thinking that you need to adjust how you talk.
Like, why would
to
you
fit
do
in
that?
with me, or that I could understand you or some shit?
It's so weird, and also it makes me even more uncomfortable when I already come in speaking well, and then I'm met with a white person who's speaking how they probably think I maybe grew up being spoken to or talking. Like, no, like, me and my people speak full English, sir. Like no.
A lot of times you're gonna be the first like black person that some of these people meet, and they think that honestly, like it's like a foreign animal. It's like, all right, this is how you talk to black people. I saw Malibu's Most Wanted. I can figure this out. I adjust my walk a little bit. You know like, how you fit in, act real niggardly, or however them folk be acting. You know, and completely miss the fact that like I'm just a regular ass human. Talk to me like a regular human. Yeah. Like I've definitely had somebody like come up to me like at the airport and they was asking me like for what gate, and then like I started telling them, and the first thing that they said was, "Oh, you speak well." I was like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
I've heard that a lot.
Like what? So you asked? You came to me asking me for help, and you gonna tell me I speak well? The fuck, you're not listening. You're not listening to what I'm telling you to do. You must have just wanted to experiment to what it's like to talk to a black person.
I was in high school and I was interviewing for like a scholarship or something like that. And there was like 3 white men and then my teacher. And they were asking me questions. I was answering them. And they were like, "You speak very well." How else the fuck?
You don't say that to everybody.
You You don't say that to everybody. Then the fact that I'm black and we in San Bernardino don't make it no better. What do you mean by that?
Every time you allowed to tell me that as if English ain't my first language.
Thank you.
You can me also being from America like you cannot say that sentence to me.
You speak well. Like, I guess I can see the other side of that, because people, I guess, don't really. Sometimes people don't be speaking well.
Yeah.
Like,
But then,
they
like,
don't.
I don't owe it to you
At all.
as a human. All I owe you is a response.
Literally. And if
You can't control
am,
how I give that response.
Like, if I am speaking, like, I guess, clear enough, or if I'm using the correct English terms in a certain type of sentence, okay, like, you should expect this, being that we're clearly both from here. Like,
Right.
and if I come in with less than that, you understand what the fuck I'm saying either way. So, like, I don't know.
Your ass watch TV.
Yeah.
You came over because like the funny thing about it is like everyone hates black people, but then everyone loves to be entertained by black people, and black people are expected to provide like the art, the entertainment, the make us laugh, do the dance, do the all this stuff. But then when it comes to like giving us like actual ability to do stuff, it's like no, get put on another show, do
like,
something.
No, you can't have this one.
Right. Yeah. Do something for us to look at.
Yeah.
You're not really that, so maybe from that perspective you're gonna always be impressed with if a black person do something different. Yeah. Like, oh, you wearing a suit? Y'all got those? I didn't even know they made those for people like you.
You were able to go into that?
They let you in there?
They let you buy that with your money? Oh my god.
Y'all use the same money as us?
I was gonna say, I started turning the question back, on them. So if someone says, oh, you speak so and so for, I'll say, for what? For who?
I'm like, what do you mean by that?
And, when you put the mirror back on the person, then it's like they have to deal with the fact internally in that split second, okay?
Yeah, like, oh, I'm the ugly one. Okay.
It's like, so I processed what you said.
Exactly.
And now,
and then, usually that'll, like, shut it down because it's like, oh, no one wants to come out right and say, oh, what I just said, was tinted with racism. It might have been a little bigoted.
Right, but then they jump to like, okay, well, you no need to get aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Question, right?
And you'll be talking to them as calm as possible. What do you mean?
It's really interesting to see, and this is why I love psychology, why I love studying psychology in college. When you dealing with racism is really interesting. Because when you put the person who, is spewing the racism in a position where they have to own up to it, that's where, the manipulative, like, mind tricks start to come into play, right? It's like, oh, well, how can I flip this back to make it so that, like, I'm now the victim for having been called out on something that I wasn't trying to be, in this case, racist, right? And then how do I put it back on, the person? But it's like, you see what you just did there? And when you, like, get them with that, then it's just like,
they don't know how to react.
Yeah, they don't know how to react.
I love, like, in that situation, like, because, like, I won't do that, but I'll point out, like, the pleasure that they're getting from it. Yeah. So it's like, oh, did you enjoy saying that? Like, what did you think what did you expect to get out of that? And like a lot of times people don't know what to say. They thought it would be clever to say or some shit like that. And it's like, are they going to admit that?
Before, and they just parroted it.
Right. Yeah. A lot of times people don't know what the fuck they saying. Like, I'm mad at you. I'm gonna say something. I hope that it makes you mad at me. Then I can record it and tell the police. People. It sucks to always have that like held over you. At any point in time, you get too upset, like somebody could just record and like call the police, and they more than likely gonna believe the person that's lighter skinned.
I mean, I haven't been in that situation, but I think even with situations like that, this might be like a whole different subject, but
I mean, we like way off the path.
Hell yeah. Let's get it. Like, I think I just don't put myself in that mindset of like trouble with police and like, oh, what if I get pulled over? Like with the whole COVID thing, I was like, oh, y'all over there in COVID world, I'm chilling. Like, COVID does not exist.
Yeah. It's like we was already inside.
Like, I've been chilling.
I was already in a bubble, not doing nothing. And then, like, now it's okay to not do nothing and be in a bubble. Welcome to the club.
Oh, I could possibly get paid.
Right.
Not doing that.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And people's, oh, you need to wear your mask so that you won't get sick. From what? From something that doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, it shouldn't have any, it doesn't have any reign over your life. So that just makes me realize how much trouble people voluntarily put themselves in, like sicknesses and diseases and stuff like that. Like, even just certain types of conflict, you know, walking into a space expecting something negative to be said or to happen, anything like that. Like, expecting in general is really that energy, like setting that energy.
Yeah, that opens the door for you to walk into that. Like, a lot of people forget. Right. A lot of people forget that, like, stress is one of the worst sicknesses ever. You know, stress can kill, stress can create other problems. Like, you know, it's ridiculous. But people, you know, people pick apart different things to fit whatever narrative they want. You know, like, you could have debates with people about like no matter what topic like you on, like it's just that there's always stuff that people not factoring in. Like, there's always truths and like facts that, like, all right, if it don't fit my initial narrative, I'm not gonna mention that. You know, we not gonna talk about that. Like, we gonna push this because this fit what I needed to fit. You know, and that's really unfortunate that, like, especially these past few years before COVID too, like, it's just been super apparent that there are agendas and that they're constantly being pushed, like, for better or for worse. There's always an end goal that somebody's trying to get, you know. But yeah.
You mentioned stress.
Stress.
And I just want to say too, it was really helpful for me to start asking myself a simple question in stressful situations. That is, so what?
Yeah.
If there's a situation that comes up that, you know, is starting to stress me, I say, so what? If I could fix it, I fix it. If I can't, so what?
That's so crazy.
Let it go.
You said that. I really be saying to my who gives a fuck? And that helps me so much.
It's crazy how much that would help.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? And then I just continue on. Oh, you're right. Who does?
I couldn't do that until like you know, like, I have a son, and like seeing him like do stuff, like I'll see him get mad about something. And then, like, from my perspective, it'd be like, well, that's stupid. And then I'll tell them that. Like, but I won't tell them it's stupid, but, like, I'll laugh. You know, like, I'll say it's funny, and then I'll tell them why I think it's funny. And then, like, I obviously give the context.
I think I've seen
like,
you
do
that with him once.
And it is just, like, that's really helped me, because it's like at the end of the day, like, if something doesn't go my way, like, I'll really, like, sit there and think, I was really about to be here mad that I didn't get my way. That's dumb. That's so stupid. And then, like, how you gonna fix it if you just mad?
You just gonna be mad, and you're carrying this.
It's not gonna change.
So you might as well, like, while you have zero control over anything, you might as well choose what makes you feel better. Like,
that's the only way to actually feel better. Is to feel better.
And also, I was just telling someone about this the other day, and it's been like a subject I've been very interested in for a very long time. Broken heart syndrome. Real ass thing. Like, it happens, of course, like during stressful situations, or even when you are suffering through a literal, like, heartbreak your heart literally breaks. Like there are tendons that hold your
Yeah.
heart together.
Didn't know
That's
that.
true.
I could see why.
Yeah.
I could.
So like whenever you get
Pain
stressed
hurts
out
in
and
many levels.
yeah, like stressed out or sad, heartbroken and stuff like
Mhm.
that. If it's enough to affect like your nervous system, your heart muscles weaken and eventually they break off. And that's how a lot of like older people whose partners have died from broken heart syndrome. There, I think there was like one president or
I could see how that.
Something.
I don't know how I would be able to live like in a situation like.
like
You
if
know,
your
like-
partner.
Yeah,
Partners
yeah.
has.
Yeah, you've been with somebody for years,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
Now you're not here.
and not only are you like y'all ain't break up, like
No, like everything's
they
fine.
not
They're
there.
not here.
And you got to live with every space that they used to be. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
When I was a CNA, this is years ago, but I worked in Gardena, and it was the same convalescent home that my grandfather spent his last days in. So when I was there, it was like
That
doubly
had to be
special.
hard.
Yeah, and on a certain level, it was sort of like I was able to give back, in a way that I had hoped, the nurses gave back to my grandfather when he was there. So that was a really cool experience. But I did have a lot of patients whose significant others, life partners, had passed, and I tell you could definitely see a difference in their spirit, between or versus the patients who were there with their partner, who had a partner that would come and visit them. To have your partner just
Yeah,
not
'cause
here on this
when-
plane physically.
Right. When you're in a relationship, like I feel like each person like especially if you're intimate with somebody, you're you're like soul work.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you're
like your Horcrux.
right. Like after that point, it's like y'all are kind of forever connected in a certain way, and then like after years and years with this person and all these like the energy and like the frequency of like memories and stuff like
It doesn't dissipate.
right like or it I feel like if it dissipates extremely slow. Like everything has an echo, right? So like for I feel like painful memories, they move way slower than like positive memories or anything like that. So like it takes a while for it to, leave your external aura or whatever, and I feel like that's why like, and then the fact that every time you, and this is kind of off topic, but every time you meet a person, it's like you're adding in their life of that, and that's forever attached to your sphere around you.
Even
just
crazier when you understand that you attract literally, like we're walking human magnets.
Mhm.
Like you literally attract everything that's inside of you already. And even like back to what you were saying, like being with this person all of your life and then to just not have them, like you're basically losing like your second self to a certain extent. And maybe people don't feel that way, but that I feel like that definitely adds on to like that pain and that heartbreak that people experience, like whether your partner has died, which I have never experienced. I'm praying I don't experience.
That's one of them like pains you don't want to feel.
Yeah, no. And like whether it's that situation or just like like a breakup or you just not speaking to a person that you love, whether it's like romantic partner, friend, whatever, because you do intertwine a lot more than you probably think. So then to have this broken off of you is like that doesn't make me comfortable. So yeah.
ask you a question? What's your sign?
I'm a Libra.
What's your sign?
I was gonna say, wait a minute. I was gonna ask you if you were a
What's your
Taurus. 'Cause
sign?
I got Venusian energy. I'm a Taurus.
Oh,
And Venus is really
yeah.
I'm a none of those.
Scorpio.
I'm a water baby.
Okay,
Oh, but yeah.
Oh, both of them water signs?
You're a water sign.
You're a
Okay.
water sign. I'm an earth sign. You're air.
I'm air, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about where the signs be.
I have a Gemini rising.
What the
though.
signs like.
Okay.
I got a Leo Mars.
Leo Mars. Okay.
I got all that in
Front
my
and
phone
center all the
somewhere.
time. You said what?
I got all that in my phone somewhere.
I
wrote it down.
I'm a Scorpio rising.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Definitely feel that scorpionic energy too.
Scorpionic.
Yeah.
What does that mean? So when like the rising thing, what does that mean?
The rising
Things
sign.
you put on, like how.
It's like your first impression.
Yeah.
How people
Mm.
perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yes,
gonna
you're
look
right.
into it more and get like a better grasp of it.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to learn more about it. It's just like
Oh, I have a Cancer moon,
Okay.
so
Yeah, the moon.
yeah, Cancer moon be fucking me up.
I can see that, yeah, because the moon is Cancer's ruling planet, ruling
my
celestial
God.
body, right? So my moon is in Aquarius, which is it be fucking me up too, because Aquarius is, it doesn't really deal with emotion in the way that people normally do, and you know the moon placement is your emotional body.
Yeah.
So I've been told that's like a Spock placement, like to have an Aquarius moon because we rationalize our emotions
Yeah.
before we feel them.
And I've been
Yeah.
trying to really get on that wave, but Jesus, like, man, it would be easier. I feel like it would be easier if I didn't have a water moon because, you know, I'm a Gemini rising, Libra sun, and I feel like those, they can balance each other out, and then the Cancer moon just be like, fuck y'all. What y'all doing over there? Like, nobody invited you. Like, go sit down. Don't nobody feel like
you
crying
crashed
right
the
now.
party.
Like, you know, so I have to really just like sit and just, that's where meditation comes in. I just have to really just sit and be like, okay, that's where I like really sort my thoughts out and put them into different folders, you know, because if I don't, I'll be crying over the paper falling from the sky. Like, why did it have to fall like that on the floor? You deserve somebody to catch you.
Hey, when something wrong, everything wrong.
Yeah.
Like I definitely feel, and then I'll just be mad at stupid shit.
Oh my God.
And then it's like, all right, I'm gonna just fuck the whole day. I'm just going to sleep.
You know what? I've had that experience before, and then I just started, you know, accepting parts of the day, like dividing the day into sections, you know.
Yeah.
Something happened bad earlier in my morning. I'm like, you know what?
Still a new chapter of the day.
Yeah.
I got the afternoon to look forward to. I
That's a
have the
great way to
evening,
put
the
it.
night to look forward to. This shit happened at 9. I'm not going to let this bother me by 11.
Yeah.
I got shit to do. And keeping my brain busy is what helps me to stay out of latching on to feelings and just letting shit just be what it is. Like, I have to do something.
Mhm. Just
Like I think with like my last romantic disappointment, I was like, you know what? Last time I went through something like this, I was depressed as shit. I didn't want to cook for myself.
Yeah, if you going through that
Like,
and somebody's
self-care.
making that happen,
Yeah, nah. Like, self-care felt like a fucking chore. I'm not doing this shit again. I'm finna go to the gym and I'm finna grow this ass and I'm finna make niggas mad because you're not finna have me crying. I'm finna have you crying this summer when you see me. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
that's
just
the way to handle it.
like little things like that, and it's really less about the person and more about you. Like, I like putting in this activity for myself is going to increase my overall health, like mentally, physically, spiritually, you know what I'm saying? So
It's a reclamation of power.
for sure.
Yeah, when you can step into that self-care mode after a traumatic experience and say, you know what, this really, crappy thing happened. But I'm gonna
This
take
really
that.
shrappy thing.
You know?
I'm about to get swole on these niggas. Fuck you. I'm gonna get so swole. I swear, I'm gonna be the most swole person you ever seen.
And that's probably, the best things we can do with that energy is give it back to self.
Right? Yeah.
I just didn't want to, like, I've been through that before where, like, I've been so heartbroken and so sad over somebody. Like, I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone if it's not them hitting my phone to have a conversation. Like, I'm not going through that again. What?
Yeah, no,
Hell no.
That's a really messed up place to be.
It sucks.
And then when you see yourself in it, it's like, I'm so disappointed in you, but then like I'm doing it. I can't see you in, and it's,
That makes those experiences necessary.
Yeah.
For that growth.
You gotta grow.
Have that heartbreak that
Because you wouldn't know where to go after.
Exactly, and you know that no matter what, you can build yourself up from that again. But you also know, okay, you can start to see the signs. Well, if I do this, and that might lead me down a path that might lead to this, without thinking about it too much. But you can sort of see patterns, in your own behavior, right? You could notice how you're feeling and sort of like take that and measure it against how you felt before in a previous situation and sort of like gauge. And I believe that, your intuition is always gonna tell you what's best.
very true.
So in any case, listening to your body, sometimes, I feel like I'm like in grind mode and I'm going, but I forget to eat. And my body be like, hold on. I know you have to like go and, paint this house or go to this meeting, but you need to eat first.
Like, I know you're going to feed me.
Right? Your body will tell you when it's time to get back into the gym, okay? Your body will tell you when it's time to even fast and purge your body too, because that's also a really important part of any like self-care regimen, I think, is keeping your GI tract, open and but
Yeah, very,
self-care.
very true. Self-care is important.
Yeah, self-care is self-love.
People definitely don't be making time for themselves. The person, I talked to somebody this morning, and like, I was telling them that I barely sleep. Like, I don't really sleep because I high key be getting mad when I fall asleep. Cause it's like I could have did something. And it's like, dang, you fell asleep. Get it together. Like, wake your bitch ass up. But there was just like, you gotta make sure that you sleep like that. That's like equally just as bad. Like for you to be putting yourself through that. Like, like.
Definitely. I be having to talk myself into that as well. Like, I had a day where I call it detailing, where like I washed my car and really like didn't.
That's a good way to put it. You actually talking about car detailing?
Oh no.
You talking about like life?
Like what I did with my car and like with my day, that entire day, and then ended up at the end of the day like I didn't do shit all day long. Like, bitch, you need to go to sleep. I just washed my car, cleaned it, and then cleaned the damn console. I wiped down the dash.
That's
like
a
my
lot.
car was, you know what I'm saying. And then on top of that, I washed my clothes, folded and hung them bitches up. Like, that's a lot of work.
That's work. That's necessary work to get you like to get your environment how you want it. When you said detailing, I was kind of thinking like I can't help but think of stuff like from a rap perspective. So like when you said detailing, I thought like you was referencing a car, but you was talking about like you're like you was like detailing like your life and like I'm a figure this out and then do like it was just a day that I'm a do like detailing on I thought that was what you meant.
That's poetic.
That's a good idea. I might have to do something with that.
Doing it. You
just physically instead of actually. Yeah. Okay.
Like that kind of goes into the concept of like as above so below. Like to me, like every action is the same action at scale. So like if you did that same like the same amount of things, the same checklist that you would do for a car, same exact things to every other thing. Yep. It always applies to everything. And thinking about stuff like that kind of helps me like process or like be okay with a lot of things, because it's like, all right, if you figure this thing out and you can survive this thing, you can probably get through any scale of that. You know, now do you want to? That's a different thing, but you can. You know,
Like, at least you know you have what it takes to get through
right.
all that.
And then as an artist, that's more material. You have to go through pros and cons.
And I think too, like as a human being, but especially as an artist, one of the most profound things that you can do is finding your process and how you best make things happen in your world, in your life. And once you find like how you sort of like just move through the world, like how like to what extent do you order your life, right? And this is based on like principles that you've chosen for yourself.
Those are the questions nobody wants to ask themselves.
Yeah, because it's so much easier to rely on well, what does the government say?
Right.
Well, what does
That's
my
not what I
employer
asked you.
say?
Right.
What does my professor, expect of me in this
Exactly.
class?
It's so hard to tune into yourself, because then you're faced with all of the shit, like all of your own demons and the shit that you have to fix about yourself. And when you're in that space, it's like, oh my God, am I really like this? Oh shit. And then it starts to make you feel bad. But if you're not in control of feeling bad, then you're going to keep going down that. And I think that's where a lot of people get lost at. Like that shadow work, like that.
Oh, look, it's called shadow work for a reason, right?
Very
It's
true.
Dark.
It's a dark, it
Very
takes you to a
true.
dark place.
And you have to be able to bear that darkness.
But as with every shadow, a shadow is shadow.
It's your
You need to know you're a shadow.
like that shit follows you around. You have to know
I feel like you
where
shouldn't be
the light is
afraid of
going
your
to
shadow.
move,
You should
where
know your
my
shadow.
shadow is on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And the shadow demands to be dealt with. The shadow is our child self. Really,
it's not gonna
it's
go
that
anywhere if you don't deal
primordial
with
part
it.
of our soul that wanted to express itself when we were children, but we didn't have the language to at the time. So there are a lot of things that we have compartmentalized, have swept by the wayside, that
true.
when we come into our adulthood and really start to move through the world and interact with other people, we start to feel the pangs that hit that inner child, right? That's trying to rationalize it but can't really. So you have to like dig down, grab that, grab the hand of your younger self and pull that aspect of yourself into the light with you and push forward. There I definitely had a 2-year period, I would say, where I just like delved head first into shadow work, because I had a lot of trauma to unpack from my childhood, and that came from a number of places. I'm a survivor in every sense of the word. So which is also why I chose Black Lotus. It has a symbolic meaning for me as well. The lotus flower being a sign of rebirth and perseverance, having to push through the mud to break through the surface and blossom in the light. It's so necessary. And once you deal with the shadow work, it's like it's a never-ending process. I feel like too, as we move through life, we uncover more things about ourselves. But it becomes easier, and also it you start to be able to like play with it a little more.
You have a template now. Like,
Right. You know how to.
if this
you know
looks
how to
like
deal
this,
with
I know
it.
exactly what that is, and I know how to deal with it.
Exactly. Yep.
I've definitely dabbled, but through more so through psychedelics. Like a lot of people do psychedelics like around people and do like before this. Like I've done like stuff around people, but like I mainly use psychedelics like to figure stuff out. So like if I'm like going through something, like I'll take a bunch of shrooms or like a tab or two, and then like I'm gonna confront it. I'm a like all the way. I might cry. I might go through a whole damn journey. But like the way that I look at psychedelics is just like, like as you grow and you experience stuff, it's like a test of fitness. It's just like, this is who you are. Are you ready to confront that person? Who are you? It's like sometimes you gotta ask that question. You might be doing a bunch of stuff. You gotta it's like, who are you though? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? Like those kind of questions. And like a lot of people don't ask those questions. And for some people, like, or at least through me, like, or at least from me, I only started asking those questions after like I was introduced to psychedelics, because it changed my perspective on like what was happening. And that sounds like such a like hippie thing to say. Like, what's happening? Like, no, what's really happening, man? Right? No, but it's like, what's going on for real?
I had that experience during the chicken paint. And I was just sitting there for like 2 minutes straight. Like, I was still painting, I'm still trying to like seem normal externally.
Yeah.
But on the inside, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Wow. So that's the answer to that. Now I was trying to like make notes in my phone of every thought that I was having, but it was just happening too quickly. And I literally would not even be able to tell you verbally what it is that I was thinking that day, but I understand it. Like,
yeah, sometimes you can't word stuff the right way.
Word the experience, but there were literal words, and I got it.
Right. You should like, well, everybody's different, but like, you could try to capture that. Like last year, there was like, because anytime like I really do psychedelics, it'll be like constantly doing or like pretty often. And the last time I did that, I ended up like writing a book. Kind of like some poems. It's kind of random. It's pretty random. But like I thought it was interesting to like capture that.
Yeah.
Like, and there was another time where like I was over at Tara's house, and like we did tabs, and it was like a party. It was a bunch of people, and it's like I ended up just sitting in the corner, and I like typed. I was just typing, but then I like read it, and then like I saved this like years after, like as a locked note on my computer, because I was just asking myself a bunch of questions, and then like answering those questions, and then like I referenced that from time to time just to like. Like it's like, okay, like am I still this? Like am I still this person? And then like if I ever feel like I'm not this person, then I need to, I need to go figure it out.
Can we talk about for a second how cool it is to go back and read your written work?
Yeah.
So I'm a painter, but I'm also a poet.
Oh.
And to read my poetry from like 10 years ago, it's like, because when you write, you see the logic and the thought process behind the written work. And, some of my stuff, I'm like, thank God I evolved.
Yeah, perspectives definitely change. But it's still good to go back through those things.
Yeah,
so you can see how much
to witness the growth, your own personal growth, and your journey is like.
And then remember all of the things that you were going through from that time up until like between and up until now. It's like, okay, like wow.
So imagine that, but then having people come up to you like, hey, do that one that you did like 8 years ago. Like, I don't know. Because like I also really, I don't really consider like myself like a poet or anything, but like I write. I be rapping.
I be rapping.
I done did that for like over 10 albums, so I done said a lot.
Look,
so like
are poets, okay, with melody.
Right? Yeah. I done said a lot, so it's like I don't know what else to say, But then like also like at least like. And like I never really got into like just spoken word or anything like that. Like I've seen some, like it don't click for me. Like I need beats. I'm a producer first. But like watching like and kind of understanding that no one person can do the same thing the same way as anybody else. So everybody's gonna have their own style that they do something with, and that's cool to see people like how you gonna and music has kind of for a period in time become less about that, but like I feel like now like it's slowly becoming more like a like all right like how like what makes you different. You know, it don't necessarily got to be like your lyric. It could be your lyrics, or it could just be the way that you approach a song, the way that you know, like everybody can't be you.
Yeah.
You know, nobody could create anything that anybody else, even if they tried. It's gonna be flawed
Yeah,
in some kind of way.
for sure. Oh man, that's such a good like perspective. I tell people this like that have businesses where they
Why was there two of them? My bad.
You're good. I tell people this that have businesses where like they formulate or like they create things and stuff like that. Giving other people advice or like just a look into like how like what products that you use to produce a certain type of result. I could give you like the name down to the brand of the body, like
I ain't gonna make what I make.
you're not gonna make what I
Right.
make, like literally. And I was telling someone this recently as well because like if you're a person that makes body butters, we know what we use. I just want to know what you use, like because what you use I may not use for a specific reason. And then the person was like, oh no, because you can't be sharing your secrets with everybody, bro.
I I don't like using this H word. I hate that in the black community.
Mm-hmm.
I only see that in the black community.
Yo, and I was just so confused because like when you formulate products like that, you done watched all the YouTube videos. I know all of these products already. What are you actually hiding that I don't know about?
Yeah.
Like
Nothing.
share resources. Like you should want people to also rise. You should want to build other people up.
Because my audience is probably not going to be your audience.
Right.
And that's okay.
Like it's
as
not a
well.
competition.
It's not a competition. Like the stage, yes, the market might be saturated, but the stage is still big enough.
Right. Let's collab. Don't come at me with no negative stuff. Like if you thinking that, let's collab. Don't do
Literally, like you may only sell body butters, but I have a full apothecary. So how about your body butters? I'll hold mine.
Right.
I still have oils and herbs and freaking sage and Palo Santos that we could collab on and build a pop-up shop and sell together. But people was just like, oh no, I can't let you into what I be using because you can't be letting everybody know. Like
No, that's one of the least true things, the least true statements.
you never know, we might have the same customer both buying the same amount of products.
People could buy more than one thing.
One person.
Yeah, honestly, when you look at someone's medicine cabinets, they got 3, 4, 5.
Right.
Okay, I got like 5 different brands of lotions.
And then who's to say like the reasons that they chose that? They might be tied to this one just because it was the only one. You do a new one, it looked different. They might like how that look more.
Packaging might be cuter. I might be attracted to that. Like I might have smelled it while you were vending somewhere and it smells better than the one I got at home. I might be attracted to that, or even just the person that's selling the product. I like this person better than this CEO of this brand I usually be using. Like, I'm finna fuck with you from now on. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, it's like, and people have asked me this, in my business. Well, are you afraid? Like, how do you navigate dealing with your competition? And my thing is I couldn't paint all of LA if I wanted to by myself.
Exactly. It's hella stuff to paint.
Like, if I had no apothecary, if I, had a boutique or what have you, I couldn't sell my product to all the people
To
in the world,
everybody,
right?
like, no.
So there's, like you say, there's more than enough space. There's just this illusion of scarcity in the market that business owners may say, oh, well, I have to monopolize, my corner of the market in order to reap, maximum profit. But that's not the case.
Right.
That's something that we tell ourselves.
Right. You know what actually works? Networking.
Networking across.
when you make deals with people instead of trying to like keep secrets and shut people out of stuff, like
That's
it's about
really what I'm
working
excited
with
about.
a community.
Like either trading products or like, I give a sample to you and you give a sample to me. That's what I'm really excited about, so that I can put other people on. Like, okay, well, y'all go buy this person's body butters.
Right.
Or, oh, this person has yoni steams as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're collabing on a yoni steam that has, because you can't put all of the herbs in one yoni steam. Like,
Yeah, you can't do like the ultimate. This is the thing. This is the one thing. I only sell one thing. I am the best of this one thing.
like this person might have not way better herbs, but different herbs to add on to different results. That
Or they might have a different ratio.
Literally, like
That's enough difference.
and you could bring these two things together and give the best to your audience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know, you might have that one customer who has something specific going on with themselves, and you need to tend to them differently than how you would everyone else. So
Button pressers.
I love it.
This don't look like that color.
it don't.
It feel orange when I look up. It's like
It looks
greenish.
like a watery popsicle.
Half of them colors is lies. Them is lies. That that is creamsicle a color?
Creamsicle. I've seen that.
Like the orange.
Have you heard that song? Yeah. Have you heard that song by Pharrell?
Creamsicle.
It's not horrible, but like it's like, dang, bro, you really wrote this.
You're Pharrell and you wrote this.
Hey, Pharrell got so many embarrassing lyrics, but like we let him slide because like he's a genius. But like, it's definitely one of them songs where it's like, I get why this not on the album. It was supposed to go on In My Mind. Yeah, there were a bunch of like songs that didn't make it on. Some were tight.
Pharrell be yeah,
Maybe Pharrell.
he be
He one of the people that's just like, just do your thing. Just keep existing and doing whatever. It's gonna be cool. No matter what he start doing, it's cool. That might change once I like personally know him, but from not knowing him, the nigga's just a cool nigga.
Gravy, wavy.
I didn't ask y'all everything I wanted to ask you. Technically. Whoop.
What you say, mate?
What?
What you say to me, bro?
Words?
Oh. Wow.
What?
What?
What happened? But yeah, like, we don't gotta stop talking. I'm just saying that, like, in terms of like satisfied the length of the time. Y'all made it.
This is really cool. I love the setup.
This is
really cool how.
And these pants really make me happy, and I don't even know why.
I was looking at those. Is that a tie-dye?
Yeah.
Or is that a bleach?
It's tie-dye. So like for Ivan's birthday, I hate when I plan stuff out and then like it just don't go that way. So like I made those, I dyed a shirt and I printed like the same way, looking like that, and I printed Dad Loves Ivan, Mom Loves Ivan on it, and I also got him a jacket that I printed that on, and I made a shirt for his mom too. shirt.
She better wear that damn shirt.
She claimed it is because she didn't see it. But it's whatever.
That was
His
sweet.
party was tight though. A lot of times I'll be planning like extra out stuff, and then it's just like, oh damn, this don't work.
That's the perks of having a creative parent. You get all the extras.
Yeah, I'd just be wanting to do cute shit.
All the macaroni picture frames.
You know.
With the gold paint.
Those is coming.
The construction
Next
paper
the next
Christmas
few
trees.
the next few years is definitely gonna be a lot of them.
You know.
Kids are neat. Neater kids.
What's one thing that you would say, like as an artist, influences your parenting style the most?
My desire to just I feel like the best thing about having a kid is you get to experience life without any filters, because like there's a bunch of stuff that like recently I asked him something that like I obviously was thinking about more than he processed, right? I asked him what does stop, and like I was just thinking like, and I went on this whole spiral of like, how do you explain the word stop without using the word stop? You know, because any other word you would use is more complex than stop. But just like trying to figure out like basic questions like that, or just like asking him, because since he was, I've never talked to him as a baby. Like from the moment he was born, like that was one thing that me and his mom agreed on. It was just like, we gone. I've constantly addressed a lot of stuff that is kind of like way over like his where he's supposed to be.
Him like
Yeah.
actual person.
And that has definitely come back on me, because like now he asks me certain things or we'll debate about stuff, and like he'll, like if I'll say that, like for example, I'll say that he's in trouble, right? And then like he'll try to justify why he did certain things, because he knows that if there's a reason and that there's a good enough reason, he technically shouldn't be in trouble. His birthday is March 30th. I don't know what sign.
Aries. Aries. Yeah, I'm tripping. Okay.
He definitely gonna talk.
Wow.
He gonna talk. He's definitely like made me question. And I really love that about
Aries will
him.
do that, okay?
Yeah, I love that about him.
Woo.
Biggest eye opener, and I feel like it's like that for every parent if they see it. A lot of parents don't care to look at it that way. They don't care to try to understand what their child's thinking. It's just like,
Yeah.
Parenthood is like a whole frontier.
yeah, and there's no right way to do it. And then there's no right way to do it, and every decision you make will completely affect what happens. It's like if you fuck up, it is completely your fault. Like at all times.
But it's like you know this and you're aware of this, and you're putting forth the effort to teach your kid things outside of just like, oh, stay out of adults' business, or here's how you clean your room, here's how you get A's in
Right.
school, here's how you have good manners,
Right.
things like that, like human.
Cause I'm not perfect, and Ivan's definitely seen like me react to certain things a certain way, and it's like I could just sit there and let that build up, or like the way that I handle it, like I'll be having panic attacks, like I'll like break down, like he's seen both me and his mom like completely break down, and like what I'll do in those situations is like I'll tell him like, this is what happened, how I was feeling. This is what made me get to that point. This decision may not have been the best decision, but I did this because of this. This is how I feel, and now you can tell me how that made you feel. And a lot of times he'll tell me it's okay. There's been some times where like if he's mad at me, I tell him to just let me, like, you can tell me not right now. You can tell me that like I'm just not ready. I'm not ready to talk to you. You can tell me that. I would rather you do that than just go in your room and like slam the door or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, and now he never does that. Like, he gonna talk to me. Like, if he feels a certain way, he gonna say it. I love that. For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Here, but like, I gotta respect it.
Yeah.
Mr.
That's good.
Did he ever tell me that like and I told him, like, at any point in time, if he says that I'm scaring him, you know, like, no matter how upset I get, no matter how bad something was, that he ever says that, it's, you know, like, that's it. And like, there'll be times where I'll tell him, like, I gotta remove myself from the situation, and I'll come back. Come back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I gotta process it separately.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know how that's gonna work out.
Nah, you're teaching him how to manage his emotions, and that's
Yeah.
a good thing.
If anything, he gonna know how to deal with shit.
Yeah, in a very good way. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not use escapism.
Right.
And understand how it is that he's feeling on the
Right.
inside.
And like, with parenting, I've definitely got into like some walls with that, because like the other parent is like, do the school stuff, like not like any type of way, but like, you know, always thinking about like, is he meeting this thing, or, you know, always comparing like his mental growth process to like books and all this other stuff. I'm just worried about like, is he connecting with people?
Yeah, like how
How
is
does
he as
he-
an actual person?
Yeah,
You
like
gotta be a human.
what does he do around people? Like, I started to learn, and he's really developed, and it's because of like the interactions between me and his mom, like early on in his life. He really seeks attention around other kids, and like around other kids, around other adults. Like, he needs it. Like, those are consequences that I have to live with, because like he's been in situations where like we were not able to give him attention because we were arguing, or because there were, you know, and like, I can't erase that out of his mind. You know, like, there's a bunch of shit that like probably shouldn't, you know, a kid probably shouldn't be exposed to. Like, only way to handle it is to deal with it, or else they go internalize it forever. And then,
Worst decisions
yeah,
based off of it.
yeah, and I ain't trying to have no fuck up be my fault.
Yeah, no.
So you can fuck up from your decision later on in life, whatever. But like, it ain't gonna be my fault. You made.
Like,
Yeah, you go be able to talk to me. It ain't gonna never be no like, I couldn't talk to my parents. My parents didn't understand me. This and that. Like, never.
see, that's where I always say, like, there are, you know, there's being a mom, and then there's being a dad, but then there's being a mother, and then there's being a father. Like,
Very
there's
different.
being a parent, just somebody that had a baby, and then there's also like actually being a nurturer, like someone
Yeah.
who's
Very
putting
different.
forth the effort to grow this person up, you know, to be an actual person and not just a robot. So, I mean, at least you're trying to, not even trying, but you are doing like your absolute best, which is really
All you could do.
better than what I've heard from most people,
That's all you
honestly.
could do. But I think it comes from my mom giving me that kind of space. Like, I've called my mom off acid. You know, I talked to my mom for like 2 hours. Okay?
She's sober and you're not. Okay.
So she started off panicking. She was like, what's going on? Because I called on some bullshit. I called like, Mom, I think I'm about to die and all this stuff. Like, I explained to her, and then she started laughing. I was like, all right, okay. And like, she talked me down. You know, like. But she's always been the kind of parent that's like, if you go do something, I would rather you, like, if you get drunk at a party, I don't want you to sneak in and not tell me that.
Yeah.
It's like, you gonna need somebody to take you home safely. So you gonna need to be comfortable enough with calling me. I'm not promoting you to go do it, but like if you do it, I want you to turn to me if you need help.
See.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like appreciate about that about my mom.
Yeah.
I didn't like fraction cried a few times throughout a few hours.
But it's good she's able to handle that. That's really good because, I mean, I don't know how old your mom is, but a lot of, like, old school parents, like, they don't be knowing what to do. They be freaking out and be wanting to talk you away from it instead of talk you down.
She changed.
Yeah, right.
She changed.
You know,
Me and my sister put her through some shit.
But I was gonna say when I was younger, my mother was very strict, but in a way she had to be because I rebelled a lot, especially when I got to high school. And so the boundaries, the restrictions that I maybe had were because I was doing dumb things like skipping class and like being truant or whatever, fighting in school. But when I got older, our relationship definitely changed again. And when I moved away to college, my mother was my biggest support system. Even with my artwork, she's always been so supportive in making sure that, at least as a parent, she provided avenues for me to express myself creatively and productively. And those lessons that she instilled in me as a child, I keep those with me now today as I move through the world. And even as I continue to evolve and grow into my womanhood, there's a lot to be said for womanhood, Black womanhood,
Very true.
at that. And I feel so grateful that my mother, who's the strongest Black woman I know, has always been there to be a guiding force. Stern or strict when it's called for, right? She's definitely Queen Mother, okay. But she's got the biggest heart, and it's just like a mother's love. There's nothing like it. A father's love too. Like, I was definitely daddy's girl, also. But
both are important when they both are really great and important when they care.
Yeah.
They definitely gotta care.
They gotta care
For sure.
Definitely talked to some people that have not had the same upbringing as me, and like that was almost like shocking for me at first, because it's like it's so foreign to not have support. Like for me, like, all right, that do what you want, like go do that. You interested in that, as long as you try what I asked. Like my mom just had a grant, had a scholarship. All right, I'll do it. I didn't really like it, so then I moved to LA, and she was like, okay, you tried, you did what I asked you. I ended up going back to college later on, but like it was just like, as long as you give it a go, like if it ain't for you, like she's always believed in me. Like she believed in me more than I believe in myself. High key. Like it because I didn't chose a path where like I gotta believe in myself. Like ain't nobody else. Right. Yeah. And doing any artist like also takes that path, and like that's sometimes some parents can't deal with that. Like, because they like that's such a foreign concept to a lot of people too. It's like, you're gonna do something creative. Like,
when are you gonna actually do something serious?
Right. And then, like that's such a stupid question, because like the question should be, when's the last time you did something creative? When's the last time you did something you wanted to do? Do you like what you're doing?
And effectually, the most successful people are the most creative. They're
Exactly.
the ones that are able to problem solve and look at things from a different perspective. Think
Right.
outside the box, innovate. That
And everybody with money knows that you can't get like this level of money without while working for someone else.
Yeah.
Like you have to be your own boss to do like the concept of like working, like just doing the same thing more doesn't necessarily mean that you're better at doing it. You know, like I don't know where I was going with that, but like you.
No, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Why? As long as you're working for someone else, you're working towards someone else's vision.
Yeah.
Right. You have to
Sometimes that's okay.
Sometimes
it's not.
Look, I learned so much when I worked with the city. Okay, I learned a lot about business. I've worked jobs where it had nothing to do with painting, but I learned how to relate with people. Right, I learned how to negotiate. I learned how to talk with people. I learned how to find common ground with individuals. Where on paper it's like, well, what do you have in common? Okay, I know how to seek those things out now, which is really good for business. And as an artist, I feel like I really, and this is, just a hope and a dream of mine. I want to see more artists in this new generation be enterprisers as well.
Yeah.
Enterprise your artwork in a sense where you're not, and have it be like in home too. There are definitely like avenues where you can outsource, right, and hire people to work with you, but I definitely see the value in learning how to do as much for yourself as possible.
Yeah.
Because there may come a time where you have to do it for yourself. I mean, to make ends meet, you may not be afford to.
Right. I feel like you should always at least have the skills.
At least have the skills and the knowledge base, so that if anything, bottoms out with your operation, you can pick up the pieces and pick up the slack. And I feel like maybe perhaps I took a sort of like roundabout way of like starting my own business. When I came up, or I would say like in my earlier 20s, I was around a lot of people that went like head first into entrepreneurship, and some of them have done really well. Some have, sort of like their business sort of bottomed out because there wasn't that skill set built into the foundation to make it resilient through the changes that inevitably will come. And as artists, like how dope would it be to just have like a bunch of like enterprising CEO artists, that are completely in control of how their art is like, shared with the world, monetized, whatever.
I think it's shifting to that.
It is.
Which kind of gets us hate topic have with NFTs.
Yes, NFTs.
But like in terms of like technically what it means, it's a full opportunity for like an artist to completely create a community, create a whole economy based on your art. Like and in reality, what like that could be like people exchanging fucking JPEGs and stuff like that, but like that's not what it's about. Like it's about like the ability for an artist, like let's say like you do a painting, and instead of selling the painting, or you make a song, and instead of like putting out the song, you're like, all right, well, all of my fans could get access to this song, and then you got a piece of this song forever. And like you can verify that it was you at that point in time. And then as the artist, like to me, what the coolest thing about NFTs are is that like I can prove who were like early on supporting me, so then I can give them stuff. Like I can like you can't lie about that. Like it's like once something's on the blockchain, it's there, it's public. I can instantly prove like, okay, you got the first like free NFT poster that I was giving away. I could all of a sudden say that gave you access to every show ever. And only I could prove who did this. That was something that never existed. Like that wasn't verifiable or anything like that. And then when you sell an NFT or when you put something to market, you can also adjust the royalty rate. So anytime that is shared after that, you get a percentage of that.
Wow.
Like there's so many ways of like reclaiming like this whole notion of like what is like is money, what's art, like how do you share art, like what does it mean to own art. It even fractionalize like royalties and stuff. Like there's people experimenting with that in music where like it's like, all right, you own this song and you'll get every month, like you get a part of that, the streaming revenue of that. Like it's so many different things that people could do.
It's
and I
an
think,
exciting time to be
yeah,
in terms of technology, the bridges that we're building because of technology, and how the arts community. I mean, like what you just said, how that's just to me, like I didn't know that about NFTs in terms of the owner of the NFT can receive royalties from owning that artwork. But that's really cool to me because then it's like a true like co-op community, right? Where everybody is invested in the artist and their artwork in a new way that is just it's just unheard of. It's unprecedented. It's so new and it's so trippy to think about. You know, that little like voice in my head is like, well, what happens like if the internet, shuts down and all of that just goes, out the window too. But I mean, the way that society is set up, I don't really see the internet being obsolete anytime soon. So
if the reality is it would cost too much.
Yeah.
If the internet went down completely, trillions of dollars lost that day, like in the seconds that because there's been times people have lost millions and millions of dollars. Like it
crash immediately.
Like Google went out for a little bit last year. No, Facebook went out, and then the people at Facebook couldn't even access the building because all their access was tied through Facebook. So, like, when we get to being that reliant, it's like, okay, well, there obviously needs to be some kind of adjustment. But then when you think about it, most of the stuff that you get, you can either log in with your Apple ID, your Facebook ID, or your Google ID. What if you can't access that?
Yeah.
Like you ever got a new phone and then had to try to move all to tie the so at least with crypto wallets there's like a sometimes they're tied to like an authenticator app.
Okay.
And like Google makes one of those, right? And many people make authenticator apps, but like it's tied to the device. You lose the device or you make another thing. If you don't remember the specific code, sometimes with Google, they make you click a button on the old device. You can't do that. You can't get
every fucking thing.
Yeah.
And if you can't access the device, even if you go into the store, they can't retrieve that
They
information
can't do nothing.
because it's like a firewall.
Exactly. Somebody need to physically click the phone. Like, I've had to make whole different emails, like, because I lost access to the email. Like, it's crazy. We too reliant on stuff, but like, like, hopefully the internet don't go out. It might happen though. Yeah, more tragic than we think. For something that like, or at least I don't know how old. I was alive for like when this shit started popping. Essentially, yes.
Our generation was one of the first.
Right.
We had dial-up. You
Right.
could be on the phone and on the internet.
Okay, so you know it. Did you go through? You ain't experienced the
Oh, okay, yeah. I didn't know it had a name. Y'all know, like, y'all were older when it was happening. I was just watching and experiencing. Like,
I remember when the new America Online would drop, like the new updates, and It's like, all right, they got a new UI. It's gonna look different now.
AIM.
Yeah, hours, days spent on AIM and Yahoo Messenger. Now I don't even know how to send messages. Like it's crazy that I used to spend so much time on there. Now I don't even know how to like send text messages.
AIM don't even exist. I tried to log into my Tumblr,
Yeah, it's dead.
my AIM.
It's dead.
No, I had an sbcglobal.net
Oh,
email.
damn.
That's long.
Hell
But it's
yeah.
wild because we were low key. Like when you think about it, back like in the MySpace days, right? Everybody had like the cool wallpapers and the music.
We were low key. I was about to say that.
We were coding.
I was about to say that. Yeah. And nobody was looking at it as like a geeky thing. It's like you got a drizzle on your site. Where the code at? Where the HTML at? Right.
So like nobody would know where you got it from.
Exactly.
It was like this thing, like if you couldn't take the tag off your MySpace wallpaper, you weren't the shit.
You wouldn't know what you was doing. You had to have your own custom stuff. And it's like niggas would clown you for like, it's like, alright, like you couldn't take off the little thing.
Now you gotta take off the tag.
Like, come on now.
Niggas is gonna know you act if not.
Yeah, it was a time.
Out of pocket, pirated music, LimeWire was like supreme.
Yeah.
It was.
And who would have really, like, we knew it was illegal, but oh my gosh, like that we were really pirating music. Like to think about it now, it's like I was
We were sharing files that were on each other's computers.
Oh!
Somebody bought it one time.
Yeah. You know what that is? That is. I used to rip music for my CDs that I bought.
Oh, I had the
Make
best.
I used to do the same thing.
CDs, like mixtapes.
It was a time. I used to be in school like with LimeWire shit loading.
Oh yeah.
Like in the classroom, like sitting in the corner.
And then they would have like those website blockers, and you knew the code to get past the blocker on the website. I think for my school it was like myspace.com/red or something like that, and you could get to MySpace.
It was ways.
Mm-hmm.
It was ways. Everybody be on Newgrounds, like playing all the games on Newgrounds and shit.
That
It was a time.
You
Like
remember
it's
Winter
crazy. What?
you remember Winter Round?
Hmm.
Oh my god.
What's that?
Oh my god. It was this website where like that's how you ever see those videos of kids like trying to play like a game and then the scary
I hated that.
Yes.
That's
That
Winter
scarred me.
Round.
That scarred me.
Yeah, that's Winter
That
Round.
scarred me.
My brother, man,
I will never. I can't do it.
A flash picture of like the nun and the
Yes.
exorcist.
It's always the same fucking picture. Give me a different picture.
Most demented.
oh my
Yeah.
god, that shit. My stepbrother, and we're the same age. But for him to scar me like that, like, why do you know about this?
People be like right behind you. Watch. Oh, why you acting like that? Oh, it's good. Just watch. It's like, come on, why would you do this?
Game. Like, oh, you can't get past this level. That's what you get, and then you get.
And then you go actually try. So then you be so focused. It's so fucked up. It's so fucked up. I put myself through that though. Thankfully, nobody like made me do that. That was the stupidest thing. Cause I did it in the dark,
Oh my god.
and like the way my mom's house is set up is like I was upstairs, and then like she was gone for like the weekend, so like all of the downstairs lights was off, and then like as soon as that came up, like I ran down the stairs, I fell down the stairs, everything was dark, like it was all bad. So like I will never play that kind of game again. Can't do it.
Oh my gosh.
I'ma still get scared, like just the fact that it pop up. I
That's,
want to see that face.
I got too much anxiety for that. Like, I don't have the emotional capacity for none of that. Don't catch me off guard with nothing.
Yeah, like no, that's extra.
Pictures,
Like,
conversations.
you must really not
nothing.
like me.
Like, do not catch me. Oh my gosh, I be trying to
Like,
tell
you-
people you can't have someone in your life with like any level of anxiety and think that you could just like come up on with anything. It could be
We trying to
like a conversation about something that I may have like overthought about millions of times. Like, don't do that to
I
me.
need a trigger warning.
Hey, that's definitely people out here. You can't just walk up on people.
You cannot.
I definitely learned that quick about like being out in California.
Oh, in LA in general.
Like you can't like people get uncomfortable. You just walk up to like I was gonna ask you a question.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I be trying to tell people LA is the hood.
That's
LA,
crazy.
All of LA, even up to Beverly Hills, is the hood. Bel Air is the hood. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
care.
people a certain way. Like people ready to pop off.
For sure, because they used to that. Like people coming up on you randomly. It could be a beautiful day. It could be raining outside. Somebody finna come up on you and rob you.
And it's it's always interesting because being from LA, this is all I knew growing up. So to hear the accounts of people that move here from out of state, and it's like
I'm like, oh, you didn't know?
surprised. I'm like, yes, LA is really about that life.
Yeah.
But then you get my bad. You go.
I'm sorry, no, that was it really is that way.
Yeah.
And based off, you could wear the wrong color in the wrong neighborhood and
Yeah,
have
that's
a problem.
crazy.
It's still a thing.
Yeah.
It's so confusing.
In New York, they don't even do that. Somebody told me in New York, like, they don't be tripping off colors like that. It's more so like who you know and exactly like where you're like which borough. Which
Yeah,
city
like
from.
where exactly are you?
Yeah.
What street?
Not no colors.
Which house?
Like, oh, you got on too much orange.
Yeah, like
Okay.
I remember what I was about to say. Like I feel like you could kind of be surprised, like if you're not from here, but like once you start thinking about like what here is, shouldn't be surprised. Because like even like there's such a huge difference in like there's money right down the street all the time, no matter what part of LA you're in, and like there's not a lot of places like that. And then like in every other state, like this is broadcasted as the place where everybody got money. So like it's like you seeing it in the movies, you seeing like even if you're here, right, you're always like this life of luxury is always flashed in your face. Like what else would you do if you're in an environment where it's like the opportunities that are put in front of you are very limited.
Yeah.
So it's like I want that, I deserve that, they got that, or if somebody around me figure out how to get it, you got that. So like not to justify it, but like it, what do you expect when like you kind of engineer this? Like the city's set up for that. It's a byproduct of what we do here.
The beaches, like especially the dramatization of Malibu, of all places.
That's a regular ass place. Everybody on the planet need to hear that. It's a Also, Nobu is a regular ass place. Oh my god.
I've never been to, like, I literally only want to go just because I've never been, not because like it's fancy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I want a 5-star. Like, no, I've just never been. I really want to see what it's about because I know it's gonna be some regular LA shit. Like, I know it is.
It's cool to have to go travel for a meal.
Yeah.
That's nice, no matter where you at. It's like, and then it's hella pretty shit.
Yeah, and it's nice to sit and watch the sunset like into
Exactly.
water.
There's a reason. There's a reason that they could charge that much.
But everything outside of the beach and the sunset is
regular houses, regular people.
Too, in LA, in SoCal, we do have some beautiful beaches here. But as far as California is concerned, some of the most beautiful beaches are in Northern California.
You can't tell people from down here that.
I'm from down here, and I'll say that.
Actually, they have a lot of the best parks to me in Northern California.
The state park.
Yeah, state parks like the
It's generally
I've
just
only been
more
up
green.
there once. It's nice.
LA is a desert climate technically.
It's too flat out here
Yeah.
and hot.
Oh yeah.
But then it was cold as shit when I was up there. I don't like being cold.
Northern California.
I like wearing jackets, but I don't like being cold.
Yeah.
It was too
I
cold.
have family that they live in not Modesto, well Modesto too, but
That's way out
yeah, way up there, like San Jose,
there. Okay.
San Jose, and me and my mom drove to San Jose. I was way younger. I was probably like 9 or something. Drove to San Jose, and it just felt like a different place. Like it didn't. It kind of felt like I was in California, but definitely like a more country, rural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole like LA, California like image that leave quick. Like after you get inland a little bit, it's like
After you get past, what is it, Thousand Oaks?
Oh yeah.
some of these places look like a whole different state. Like you will not think you in like this whole California.
Yeah, nah. Once you go towards like San Bernardino, it's like, is this still count as California?
And it's not that far. That's the thing. Like you don't gotta go that far.
Gave up when you got out of LA County. Like, oh my god.
It definitely you can see like the glitz start to slowly dissipate the further in that direction you go.
Oh my god! And I lived out there for like 4 years, and I was just like, wow. So this is why when everybody's family goes broke, they give up them houses and move to San Bernardino.
Man.
Okay.
Like, my mom bought a home up in the Antelope Valley, right outside of Palmdale.
Man.
This town called Little Rock.
Mm-mm.
When she first told me we were moving to Little Rock, I was like,
Arkansas?
Hey, Mike, can we talk about that?
Arkansas?
Yeah, right. But it's up in the high desert, and even that, it's still technically Los Angeles County,
Which is so confusing.
Which is wild.
Yeah, which is really wild.
Moving here, that whole the West LA County was not. That's
Oh yeah.
confusing as hell.
Yeah, I be heavy on that. I mean, like I still, like yeah, LA is LA, but like that shit ain't LA.
Man, I'm waiting for the LA version of Sorry Not Sorry to come out.
Oh my gosh.
Yo.
Man, yeah, it's hard kind of explaining, like when you get friends that come visit from out of town, right, that have maybe been here for their first time or a couple times before, and you, okay, so like where exactly are you at? I'm in LA.
Yeah.
What street are you on, bro? Like, give me your cross streets. Give me
the whole concept of telling people cross streets. I had to really adjust to that. Like it's like what?
You don't know what part of LA you
Just
in?
tell me the place. You're like, oh, I'm at this and it. How am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know where that is?
You can always tell when somebody's really from LA. You ask them where they grew up.
Mm-hmm. Or what's your last name?
I grew up off of Crenshaw Rosecrans. Oh, okay, word. I know where that's at.
Or like, oh, what's your last name so I can make sure that we not related? Like, are you my what's your last? Okay.
Yeah, that's so weird.
See?
Like coming out here.
Like in Pasadena, I know if your
The
last
word
name is
freeway is
yeah.
weird.
What do you? I've heard that before.
I was calling them interstate all my life.
Interstate. See, that's the correct term. It
is
is
a correct
Interstate
term.
5, but we say
Interstate or highway.
highway. Say the 5 freeway, the 405 freeway, the 110 freeway.
Yeah.
In other states.
That shit ain't even free. The traffic makes it very not free.
A lot of these places you pay tolls, so maybe that's where the freeway thing comes from. It's like summer free.
The fast track is relatively new though too.
Yeah.
I feel like people who call it the freeway have been here for over 10 years. The fast track is like within the last 8 years, I want to say. So that's relatively new for us paying the toll, but it's just it's so
Out here.
overpopulated. They have
But they,
We was paying
like,
tolls in Chicago and in
over
Florida.
there, they
We was tolled up.
Really?
Gotta have the quarters because like I
What
lived in.
quarters?
Well, so like at least in Chicago, we had a thing. I forgot what it was called. It's kind of like that little box that we got out here. I think it was called like the iPass or some shit. And like you could either buy that and pay monthly, and if you worked in Chicago, like my mom worked in Chicago, so like she would have to use that or take the train. Or you would have to. It was like 75 cents, like each way, into and out of the city.
Have your change cut. And
Right.
Clean, clean, clean.
Exactly. Or else you could not go to work. Like everybody needed quarters and stuff like that. Like that was the thing. Like
That's
making sure we
crazy.
had change for the.
Yeah, I can't see how that would ever fly in LA with the amount of traffic.
don't you
that-
buy it
Oh,
from like
yeah.
Costco or something? The
the fast track?
yeah, Fast Track.
I don't have
We had
that.
to get them
Oh.
at the DMV back,
DMV.
at least in Illinois.
Huh.
Okay.
I heard that you can buy them at like Costco and pay it there.
You can buy everything at Costco now. I love
Literally, you can
it.
buy your whole life at Costco.
Costco.
But I heard like that card can mess up your credit quick.
Really?
The Costco credit card, like if you buy
Credit
too many
cards in
things-
general can mess up your
Heck
credit
yeah.
quick.
But I'm just like, damn, I'm shopping for like
The
no,
deals.
Like what the heck? Like,
But the
this
bundles,
is crazy.
I could get this and this many of these. Ooh. For this much?
For this many? Okay.
And then the crazy thing is that it'd be the same shit you'd be buying at the other stores, but
Yep.
it's just like
Just with a
branded
different
differently.
price.
Yep.
Man, I just had a flashback at peak COVID times. Costco was
Khaleesi.
packed.
Still
Yeah,
packed.
Costco always be.
It's crazy. Like even pre-COVID, like staying in LA, shit is gonna always be packed.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, the lines are really long in the stores." When
We're
aren't
fighting over
the
toilet
li-
paper.
like and fighting over toilet?
Costco.
That was happening in real life
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about it, but like
No. And
I had never experienced it because I was like, why I need that much toilet paper?
Man, I was working security at Smart and Final, and those lines were extremely long. It was always people catching attitudes with me because we had to put a capacity in the amount of people that were allowed
People
to
was
in the
getting mad
store.
back then.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
bro, I don't make these rules.
Right.
Like there's a camera literally right above my head. Like you're tripping,
Mm.
and it's people coming. First off, when you're a security guard, some clients understand your job duty and your job limits,
Right.
right? I'm not a police officer. I'm not authorized to run after people that are stealing out of the store. I'm not even authorized to touch people with my finger. I'm definitely not authorized to hug people. None of that. I can't yell at you, talk at you crazy. I gotta give you good customer service like a regular employee, right?
Right.
So there's one day these two men had came into the store and stole like 2 cases of beers. Middle of COVID, lines long as shit, right? So I'm watching them walk out the door because again, this is my job to observe and then report, not observe, chase, and then write a report about it. Like observe and report. So I'm watching them as they're walking out the store, and the manager of the Smarter Finals like walking past me, like looking at me like, what you want me to do, man? Like, are you going to run after them
Right.
people on camera?
That's technically not my job.
That's not my, and it's not hers either.
Right.
Like, what you,
That's I never understood why people be taking them jobs so seriously.
yo, like you get this shipment back next week.
Right. And then they already factored this in as a business. And then they got insurance, they get money back on these things, they factor in all the losses.
I just don't get it.
Like when I used to work at Lowe's, like it was like we would see people stealing, like you know, I could report you, but like technically this ain't my money.
No,
You're not stealing from me.
and it ain't that deep. Cause
And then
we'll
it's
get this
not
shit back
my
next
job.
week.
All that I'm allowed to do is call loss prevention so they could come look at you.
Yeah.
They can't even touch you.
By the time I do that, you gonna be gone. So like, do I care enough to do that? It's like if you was the way that I look at it, if you gonna steal, You probably need that. So like, whether you're gonna sell it or do whatever your intentions were, you were at the point where because you obviously had to go through something to make this decision. All right, I'm about to steal this.
Yeah.
You know, that takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like, if you're gonna do that, then especially if this ain't my store. Now, if it was my store, maybe I would, you know.
Yeah.
But
like if it's an independently owned store,
then it's different.
Such a broad business like Smart and Final or Bristol Farms,
Right.
Like,
But in that situation, I would be like, bro, you could go up the street, go do this same thing up the street.
yeah,